This conference will now be recorded.
So in the last class, we have discussed some of the AWT controls. No? What are the AWT controls we have discussed in the last class? Label, text field, button, then what are the other two? Choice and list. So these 5 AWT controls we have discussed in the last class. Now in today's class, we will discuss the remaining AWT controls. Total number of AWT controls 9. What are they? We will see. First label, then text field, button, choice, list, checkbox group, then scroll bar, and the last one is text area. These are the 9 AWT controls. Out of 9, we have completed in the last class 5. They are label, text field, button, choice, and list. We will see once I will first revise once. After that, we will complete the remaining AWT controls. So here, I have not given all the 9 AWT controls, but when you write the notes, you include all the 9 here. See, all these 9 AWT controls are predefined classes, and all are the subclasses of component class. So component is the this superclass of all predefined classes, that is AWT controls. So component, we can call these as AWT components also. AWT components or AWT controls, it is your wish. So all these are subclasses of which class? Component. And all these are predefined classes. Total number of AWT controls 9. So practice programs on these 9 AWT controls. For exam point of view, this is called AWT hierarchy. So if in the exam, if the question is explain about AW class hierarchy, means you draw this diagram and explain each and every class with examples. Next, what are the AWT components? Already explained 9. No? Label, text field, button, choice, list, checkbox group, text area, and scroll bars. So up to list I have completed in the last class. So up to list means 5 are there. Now we will revise once all these 5. Then we will go to the remaining 4. So what is the difference between choice and list? Last class explained. Choice means it will take it. We will select only one item from choice, but list we can select multiple items. Both are for the same purpose. We can add like it is. Both are treated as like menu. When you go to hotel, you will get one menu card. No, from that so many items are added. No. So you can select one item or you can select multiple items. So menu is the best example for choice and list. So this choice means items are added to choice. Out of all the items from choice, we can select only one. That is choice rule. List means we can select multiple items. That is the difference between choice and list. Already explained label. Label, text field, button. These are used frequently, no, in day-to-day life. That is, whenever you open Yahoo or Gmail, first it will ask you username. That username, next field is password. So username and password are called labels. Next, whenever it asks username, you have to write that mail ID. No? That box is called text field. Next, password box is also called text field. So username and password are called labels, and whatever the boxes are there, they are called text fields. Next, button. So after entering username and password, next one more button will appear on the screen. No? That is sign in. So after entering username and password, you will write sign in or you will click sign in. That sign in is called button. Button has label must. So on the button we are writing sign in. Sign in is the label of the button. So by using username, text field, by using label, text field and button, we can create form. Next, choice and list. These are like menu. These are the examples for label, text field, button, choice, and list. We will see one by one. Already explained. Only we will go fast. First, label. Label is how to read all these AWT controls. Is for see here one important point to remember is out of the 9 AWT controls, for label, text field and scroll and text area. Event handling is not required. Note down this point. So out of nine AWT controls, for 3 AWT controls, that is label, text field and text area. For these 3 AWT controls, event handling is not required. But what about the other 6? For button, choice, list, checkbox group and scroll bars, event handling is required. What is the difference between event handling is not required and when it is required is, suppose if it is required means you have to take the event, already last class I explained, delegation event model with respect to 3 terms: event source, event class and event interface or listener interface. So event handling means these are the 3 important words: event source, event class and event listener. Listener means interface. So for the first 3, not first 3, label, text field and text area, event handling is not required. Means you need not remember those 3 terms: event source, event class and event listener. Now that's right. So in case of label, text field and text area, we need to remember only constructors and methods of that class. That's it. Understand the difference. Event handling is not required means we need to remember only label is a predefined class and what are the constructors for that predefined class label and what are the methods in that label class. By creating object for label class using any one of these constructors, we can access these methods with that object. Already you know class concept, no? How do I access methods of a class is by creating object for that class. So inside label class, these are the 4 methods: set text, get text, set alignment and get alignment. So how do we create objects for label class is by using any one of the constructors. That's why for label class you by heart constructors as well as methods. And how to apply these constructors and methods, try to practice. By practice only you will get. I explained clearly one program. Next, so for label class, event handling is not required now. Now see, that's why event source is not there, event class is not there, event listener is not there. That's why for label class only you need to remember constructors and methods. That's it. Next, when you go to the text field is also a predefined class. For text field also event handling is not required. That's why only constructors and methods you need to remember. See, for text field also same, event handling is not required. But practice all these constructors and methods. Then only you will get the concept. Now here, how do we create text field class object is using the constructors. After creating the text field class object, we can access any one of these methods with that object. See, I will explain on this. So for password, we have to give some characters. No, password. Your password cannot be seen by others. No, that's why for that you have to use this method. Whenever you use password, the text field for password, you have to use this method. Set a char of char ch. See, this char ch can be star or dollar or at the rate. You can see. So whatever you type in the password text field, so those characters cannot be seen to others. So all the characters, whatever you type, those are replaced with this either dollar or star or at the rate. You can put any. So this is only for passwords. This is must for passwords. For username, you need not use this method set echo char. That's why try to use all the constructors and methods. Then only you will get full concept. Next, text field. For text field, event handling is not required. That's why next, only constructors and methods. Next, we will see the button class. Button is a predefined class again. These 2 are the button constructors. So this is the NOR constructor. This is the parameterized constructor. Using this constructor, we can set the label to the constructor because for button label is must. After entering username and password, you will click the sign in button now. So in the button for button label is must. The sign in is nothing but the label of the button. So how do we set the label for the button is by using the second constructor, or the other way is you can use the first constructor for creating object. After that, with that reference variable, we can use this method set label to set the label to the button. So constructor 1 and method, this set label method, these two are equivalent to the second constructor. Either you can use the second constructor directly to set the label to the button, or you can use the first constructor along with this method set label. After setting the label to the constructor, label to the button, we can retrieve or return the label of the button using get label. So for button class, two constructors are there and two methods are there. So here, see, observe the difference between label, text field and button. So already explained clearly, for label, text field and text area, event handling is not required. That's why for those three AWT controls, you need to remember only constructors and methods, that's it. But for the remaining 6 AWT controls like button and others, compulsory event handling is required. Why? Because see, after entering username and password, you will click the button sign in now. Whenever you click the button sign in, some action or some event must be generated now. Otherwise, how you will go to the next page after clicking the button sign in? So after clicking the button, see, understand carefully. After clicking the button, some action must be generated. So to listen that action or event, some listeners are required. So after listening the event by the listeners, the listeners will invoke the corresponding method for performing that action. What is the action after clicking the button sign in is? You want to go to the next page, no? Okay. So that's why for button, AWT control is required. Not only for button. For 6 AWT controls, event handling is required. What are the 6 AWT controls? Button. Next, tell me choice, list, checkbox group, and scroll bars. For these 6 AWT controls or components, compulsory event handling we have to apply. Because for all these AWT controls, whenever you click that one, whether the state has been changed or some action must be generated. So I will explain all these in depth in today's class. To understand carefully. So what I explained for button, in addition to the constructors and methods, what are the other things required is, tell me. This is event handling. Event handling is required. So for button class, what is the event source? Here you can write event source. So event source is the button. And what is the event class? That is action event is the class. What is the event listener? That is, what is the listener? This is the listener, the action listener. So you need to remember for button class, a event source is button and the event class is action event and event listener is action listener. So these three things are very, very important for event handling. What are the three things? What is the event source? We need to know. And what is the event class? And what is the event listener? So in case of button, the event source is button and the event class is action event and the event listener is action listener. So all listeners are interfaces and all event classes are predefined classes. So what is the corresponding predefined class for button is action event and the interface is action listener. So like that, whenever we need event handling, you need to know what is the event class and what is the event listener. So what is the event class corresponding to the button is action event and what is the listener is action listener. So the action event is a predefined class now. Predefined class means it consists of some methods now. That's why again whenever you take predefined class, at least you need to remember some important methods. So here some important methods for the action event class is get source and get action command. Already explained. Get source method returns the reference variable of the button and the get action command will return the label of the button. So these two methods are there in the action event class. By creating object for action event class, I can use these methods. So see the difference. These are the button class methods, but these are the action event class methods. Understand the difference. Next, we will say action listener. In action listener, there is only one method, that is action performed. So if you take the mouse events, what are the for mouse events there are two listeners, no? Mouse listener and mouse motion listener. So together there are 7 methods in both mouse listener and mouse motion listener. Like that, in action listener there is only one method, that is abstract method, that is action performed. Of always whenever you write the listener methods, always it will take the action event class as object. So action performed is a method which is there in the, or action performed is an abstract method which is there in the action listener, and the parameter of this action performed method is action event class object. Next, already explained this program. No? Here I will explain one concept. Last class I have not explained. Now I will explain. Now here this is the first you see the output. After that you correlate this output with your program. Then it is easy. Now I want to get like this. First you should have some idea. What is your requirement? What should be the output? So first write the output. Then accordingly write the program. That is easy. Don't write the program blindly for applet programs. So first I want to get the applet window like this. This entire window is called applet window, and here we have username and password and sign in button. So how many labels are required? Username and password. And how many text fields are required? 2. This is one text field and this is another text field. And this is button, that is called sign in button. Next, username is, you will, in the text field you will enter something, and password also you will enter something. But for password you should take the method set echo char of star. Star means whatever you type, all the characters will be replaced with star. Next, after entering username and password, whenever you click the sign in button, this is important. So whenever you click the sign in button, see, for these event handling is not required, because whenever you click username nothing will happen. Whenever you click this in the text field nothing will happen. Means no need to generate any event or action. That's why for labels and for text fields event handling is not required. Means whenever you click this one nothing will happen. But understand the difference between this. And whenever you click the button, some action is there, some event is generated. To listen that event, listeners are important. After listening the events by the listeners will invoke the corresponding method. The programmer need not invoke any method. It is the role of the listeners who will invoke the corresponding methods. Either to go to the next page, some action must be generated. No, that is done by the listeners. Programmer will not take care. Next, what is this? This is my requirement. That's why I will create 2 labels and I will create 2 text fields, and I will create one button with the label sign in. After that, the output will be inside the paint method. I will write the output is whatever you type in the first text field, that will be printed on the applet window as output. Whatever you type in the 2 text fields, username and password, these 2 will be printed as output on the applet window. Here I have written Java. Here I have written online. This is the program. For this, already explained that in the last class. But here I will now in the today's class I will explain the flow. Last class I have not explained the flow. Only I have explained the code. And now what is the flow for this program is? See, first we will see 3 import statements same. Applet code in the comment same. Everything is same. But how many labels, text fields, button, all these you know. So already explained in the init method. It is divided into 3 parts for all the AWT controls. In the first part, I will create the objects using the constructors for all the AWT controls. After that button, only for button event handling is required. No, for labels and text fields event handling is not required. No, that's why for button I will add action listener of this. That is B1 dot. Only for button we should add. Remember, because only for buttons event handling is required. For labels and text fields event handling is not required. That's why no need of any listeners for labels and text fields. But for button, what I will write, B1 dot add action listener of this. Means what is the meaning of this is registers the listener to the button. Because whenever you click the sign in button, some event is generated now. to listen that event, listener is important, no? That's why I am registering listener to the button. To listen the event whenever you click the button. Understand this line carefully. This is very, very important. Why I am writing B1 dot is I am adding to the button, not I am adding to the applet window. So I am adding the listener to the button. That's why B1 dot add action listener of this. Next, what is the third step is after creating all the AWT controls, we have to add the AWT controls to the applet window. That's why here I have written adding objects to the applet window. So always init method consists of 3 steps for all AWT controls. What are the 3 steps? First, creating objects for the AWT controls, then adding the listeners if necessary. Next, adding all the objects to the applet window. So for every program, you observe these 3. That's why first understand the main concept. After that, next. So button means what is there here? Understand this. Similarly, you can understand the remaining. See what I have written. Public class. This is the class name. Extends applet and implements action listener. Because I am taking button now. Button means some action must be generated now. That's why we have to implement. Means our class must implement action listener. Action listener is an interface. So implements action listener means in action listener there is only one method, that is action performed. So our class must implement that method. That's why I should write the action performed method. This is must. You know interface rule. So that's why I have written the I have implemented this one. So here public void action performed. It is taking action event class object. After that, inside the action performed, I have written repaint. Now in the today's class, I will explain what is the exact meaning of repaint. Next, I will explain for this program. For the remaining programs, follow the same flow. In the last class, I have not explained the flow. Without flow, you can't understand the output. Next. So after that, what I have written, paint method. Inside the paint method, I want to print whatever we have typed in these 2 text fields. No? These 2 I must print on the applet window. No? That's why that the code I will write in this paint method. So how do I write? You know, text field one method is there, that is get text. Whatever you type in the text field, how do we retrieve that text is using the get text method, which is there in the text field class. Next, g dot draw string of t1 dot get text, this is the location. Next, t2 dot get text. That's why from the 2 text fields we are getting the text and we are printing on the applet window using draw string method of graphics class. So understand carefully. Now I will explain the flow. So in this, the same concept for all the remaining programs. Once you understand this program, remaining programs, each it will take only 5 minutes. See, understand the flow. Again, I will explain. See, first 3 import statements. Next, you should write applet tag. The applet tag must be written in this one comments. And inside the applet tag, code is equal to whatever class you have taken. Write the dot class file of that class within double quotes. Width and height means these are the width and heights of the applet window. Applet tag open close. Always it must be put in the comments. Applet viewer will execute only this one when you execute the program with applet viewer. Applet viewer will consider only comments. Compiler will skip the comments. Whenever you execute the program, applet viewer will execute only this. That's why I have written the dot class file in this one. Like JVM will execute dot class file, no? Here applet viewer will execute the dot class file. And this is the size of the applet window. That's it. Next 3 import statements must. This is must. After that, class extends applet is common to all the AWT control programs, but implements is varies. This varies from one AWT control to another AWT control. Because in button class, we know the action listener is the listener for button. That's why implements action listener. Suppose if it is choice, if you want to write, then you have to write here item listener. Mouse events means implements mouse. These listeners are different. You must remember the listeners. Okay. Next, see the same syntax I am writing for the remaining programs. Understand the flow. Next, after that, 3 import statements, applet tag in the comments. After that, I will write one class which extends applet must for all the programs. And this implements listener, it depends on the AWT control. This is the general syntax. After that, based on the output, whatever AWT controls you want to take, for all those AWT controls, create the reference variables outside the init method. Don't create this here, right? Don't write. Label L1 is equal to view label. Why? Because these, some of these reference variables, I am using this here. See, T1, T2, I am using in paint method. T1, T2. Suppose if you declare inside the init method, these will, see, when you write like this here, text field T1 is equal to text field T2 is equal to, means if you write inside that one, then they will be treated as local variables. Outside the init method, they cannot be used. That's why always write the reference variables for all the AWT controls outside the init method and create the objects inside the init method. That is the thumb rule for all the programs. Why? Because why we should write here is these can be used anywhere in the remaining part of the program. That is the reason. After that, I say I have written comments and I have written each and everything. Next, inside the init method, 3 parts. No, this is common. So first part is creating object. Second part is adding lasers to the button. Then third part is adding the AWT controls to the applet window. See, first part is you must write first only. But for second and third, these we can interchange. We can write add statements second case and third case listeners. These can be interchanged. So you see in this program, we only 3 methods, understand. So init method, then next method is action performed. This is must. Why? Because our class is implementing action listener. In action listener, there is only one method. That's why we need to give implementation to the action performed. This is must. So inside action performed, I have written only repaint. Next, after that, I have written paint method. Using the paint method, I am retrieving the contents of the 2 text fields using getText method of text field class. Only see how, if you observe, only 3 methods are there, like that the remaining programs. So after writing the program, we will see the flow. Whenever you execute the applet viewer, with applet viewer, the applet viewer will execute only this applet tag. Inside applet tag, I have dot class file. I have dot class file means this program will be executed. So what is the flow? Now flow is very, very important. Understand carefully. Next, what is the flow is? See, our class extends applet now. Our class extends applet means already explained there are 5 lifecycle methods in applet class. So out of 5 lifecycle methods, 3 methods are executed automatically. What are the 3 methods? Init, start, and paint. These are the 3 methods which will be executed automatically whenever you write extends applet. You remember the same concept for all the programs. What is the first thing to be happened when you execute the program is first 3 life cycle methods must be executed. First we will see that concept. Note down this one. First concept is 3 life cycle methods, that is init, start, and paint methods will be executed. Now we will see. So what is the init method? This is the init method. No? So label objects, these AWT controls objects are created. Then after that we are adding the registers to the applet window. Then we are adding the AWT controls to the applet window. So the init method is executed. So all these are executed. That is correct. So first init method. Next start method. No? So here always we should override the init method of the applet. So in applet class we have, in the super class applet we have 5 lifecycle methods now. Init, start, paint, then stop and destroy. So here in the event handling programs, this is overriding init method of the applet class. This is overriding paint method of the applet class. But start method we have not taken overriding start method now. That's why applet class start method will be executed. What is there in the applet class start method is show status of applet started. That's why in the status bar you will get the output as applet started. So now till now, init method is executed automatically. Then start method is executed automatically. This is the output of start method. Then after that, paint method will be executed. Now come to the paint method. Third method is paint. These are the 3 methods which will be executed automatically for each and every program in event handling. Now see the flow. Now what is the third method? Paint. Inside the paint, what I have written? T1 dot get text, T2 dot get text. But But suppose these, let us assume that these are the two empty text boxes initially. So whenever the means whenever you create the text box using the first constructor, you will get empty text boxes only. Otherwise, if you want to put some string, default string, you can put. Now let us assume that these two are empty in the beginning. Then what will happen whenever the paint method is executed for the first time? T1.getText. Those two boxes are empty, no? That's why nothing will be displayed. So inside the applet window, nothing is there. Here empty string will be printed. Here also empty string will be printed for the first time when this paint method is executed. Understand this flow. This flow is very, very important. Unless you understand the flow, you can't understand this event handling program. So first step is init method, start method, and paint methods. Three methods will be executed automatically. For all the rest of the programs also same concept. So that's why the first init, start, and paint. Whenever the paint method is executed for the first time, so assume that empty text fields are there. That's why getText returns empty string, and this T2.getText also returns empty string. That's why here in place of Java, initially empty string is there, and online also empty string. Okay. After that, what I will do? Next, after that, empty strings only, no? Now, when you execute the program, only empty text fields will appear. After that, I have typed Java in the username text field, and in the password text field, I have typed online. Next, after that, what I will do? I will click sign in. Understand this remaining same concept easy only. Whenever you click the sign in button, what will happen? Some event is generated, no? And to listen that event, listener is there, no? What is the listener for the button class is action listener. After listening the event by the action listener will invoke the corresponding method, that is action performed. You understand this? This concept is same for all the remaining programs. In the next programs, I will not explain. That's why I understand this flow. Whenever you click the sign in button, see, whenever you click the sign in button, this action performed method is invoked. No? How it is invoked? You should be able to tell the reason why how this action performed is invoked whenever you click the sign in button. Understand this concept. How means you should be able to explain like this. Whenever you click the sign in button, some event is generated, and that event is listened by the listener. So the listener for the button AWT control is action listener. So action listener will listen the event. After listening the event by the action listener interface will invoke this action performed method. Programmer is not invoking, remember. Who will invoke this action performed method is action listener. Understand this concept. We are not invoking. I have not written anywhere like dot action performed. That's why who will invoke this action performed method is action listener. After invoking this action performed by the action listener, what is there here? Repaint. Now I will explain the concept of repaint. Understand for this after the same. Next. So who will invoke this action performed is action listener. After that, what is the code which is there in the action performed is repaint. So repaint means whenever you write repaint, it will go to the paint method only. From this, the flow go to the paint method. See, already paint method has been executed first time. Now empty strings are displayed on the applet window. You remember that. Next, after that, again I have written. Now after typing some text in the text fields, I am invoking getText methods on the two text fields. Now what is there in the after typing Java online? See, now this paint method is executed second time. Whenever this is executed second time, it is repainting what is there in the previous. In place of Java, null string is there. In place of online, empty string is there. So those two are overwritten with Java and online. Means we are repainting. This concept is nothing but repaint. Already painted with empty strings now. Again we are painting now. That's why it is called repaint. Repaint means second time we are painting the applet window. First time with empty strings, Second time with Java and online. That's why this method name is repaint. Repaint means first time as part of life cycle methods, init, start and paint methods are executed automatically. After that, whenever you invoke the corresponding methods like action performed, we will write repaint no, to display the new output. That's why this is second time we are invoking paint method. That's why it is called repaint. Understood? So this is the flow. What is the flow? First one is init, second is start, third is paint. After that, whenever, what is the action here? Whenever you click the sign in button after entering username and password, an event is generated. This is important. An event is generated. To listen that event, the action listener is there, and action listener will invoke the action performed method. From that, it will go to the paint method and it will display whatever you typed on the text fields that will be printed as output. That's it. That's why here paint method is executed 2 times. First time is as part of life cycle. Second time is as part of action performed method. From action performed method, we are invoking paint. Why it is repaint means already paint method is invoked first time as a part of life cycle. Something is displayed on the applet window. Next, whenever you invoke repaint, that old content will be replaced with the new content. That's why again it is painting. Okay, already it is painted. Again we are doing painting. No, that's why repaint. That's it. Next remaining programs you can understand. Already button this already explained. Here also same concept. Whenever you click button red, it will go to the action performed method. See, this is the action performed method. Whenever you click yellow button, again it will go to the action performed method. Whenever you click green button, it will go to the action performed method. So for all these three independently, it will go to the action performed. Whenever you click this button, on this button only, action performed method will be invoked. Whenever you click this button, on this button, this method will be invoked by whom? Action listener. So same concept. So now you understood the concept. Now we can go fast. Choice already explained same concept. But see, in choice, item event is the class and item listener is the interface. But whereas in button, action event is the class, action listener is the interface. That's why you need to remember, in addition to the constructors and methods, we need to remember the event handling mechanism. That is, what is event class and what is event listener. So for choice, see, remember, for button it is action event and action listener. No, for choice list, checkbox group. For all these 4 AWT controls, item event is the class and item listener is the interface. That's why it is easy to remember. So item event and item listener are common to choice list, then checkbox and checkbox group. Already explained choice. For choice, we will add items like this. First, create choice box object, choice object. After that, I can add any number of items to the choice or list. But from choice, I can add only one. I can select only one item. Already explained this one. See here again, same concept. Whenever you click this drop down, and whenever you select one number from this drop down, some state here state changed. There some action is generated. But here for all these events, item state is changed. That is, from one state it is going to another state. When suppose previously it was state is 1. No? Whenever you select 12, now state is changed from 1 to 12. Means whenever the state is changed on the first choice, on this first choice, what method will be executed? Item state change method will be executed. Like that, whenever you change January to March, again this item state change method will be invoked on the second choice. Again on the third choice, whenever you change the state, again item listener will invoke the item state change method. See, this concept is same. Paint method as part of life cycle first time will be executed. As part of this repaint method, second time it will be executed. Same concept. List also same. List class constructors, list class methods. Next, same. These two are same. No, that's why I have not written. Item event and item listeners are same for list also. Next, now we will see the new concepts. We will complete fast. Understand the concept. List means multiple items selected. These multiple the selected items I am printing as output on the applet window. Again, here also same. Previously, you have selected suppose Pune and Goa. Next, whenever you click the drop down box and you click some more items, you select some more items. So whenever you change the state from one state to another, immediately the item listener will invoke item state change method. See here in case of choice, all these we will write item state changed, but in case of button, action performed. Some action is generated, no, that's why. See, all are similar. Understand the concept. Checkbox also you can study on your own. See, checkbox constructors. Next, checkbox methods. Next, same item event. Already explained 3 terms are important now for event handling. What is the event source for checkbox? Is checkbox. What is the class item event? What is the listener? Item listener. See, same easy. Next, checkbox already you are doing NPTEL exams now. For some multiple questions you can select more than one option. That's why checkbox. But for some questions only one answer is correct. In that you have to use radio button. No? So here checkbox and the checkbox group is called radio button. There is no direct class for radio button. Checkbox group is treated as radio button. I will explain fast, easy only. See, checkbox means multiple items can be selected. No, so while creating the checkbox, if you want default is not selected. First, I will show you the output. Then it is easy. See, all these are easy programs. First, understand the concept. So here, how many checkboxes I have created? One for CSC, one checkbox. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more important point is like button, checkbox also having the label. But what is the difference between button and checkbox is inside the button label will appear, but here outside the checkbox label will appear. So like button choice also having label. Next after that, CSC is the label of the checkbox. And if you want true by default while creating the checkbox, then here one constructor is there, that is default selection. That constructor is called, try to practice the constructors and method. So this is for checkbox label. So checkbox string str is it means checkbox C1 is equal to new checkbox of CSC. Means checkbox is labeled with CSC. Next like that is here. Suppose if you want to select default selection is not selected. Now, suppose if you want to select default, then boolean on. If you write in place of this CSC comma true, then box is selected. Tick mark will appear on the box in addition to the label. See, these are the constructors. Next, last 2 constructors are for checkbox group. I will explain later. First, try to understand empty constructor, no R constructor, and this is for label, 1 R constructor, this is 2 R constructor, this is label as well as the default selection. Next, if you want to use the first constructor, if you want to give the label and state, how do we give get label, set label and set state? If you use the first constructor, you can use the methods. If you use the third constructor, no need to use these methods. So understand the constructors and methods. You know event, so item event is the same. So inside the item event, the method is get item. It will return the reference variables of the object, and item listener means item state changed. In item listener interface, there is only one method, that is item state changed. Next, same concept. See, 3 import statements, next applet same, then checkbox extends applet and implements. See, for button here I have written action listener now. For checkbox, what do we write? Item listener. It varies. That is one important point. Extend applet is same. That's why any class which extends applet means here we are overriding init method and paint methods of the applet class. Only 2 methods we have taken overriding. That is init and paint. So as part of life cycle, first init, then start, then paint methods will be executed first whenever you execute the program. Next is easy, only 2 minutes. So for 5 checkboxes I have taken now. So outside I have created the reference variables and inside I have created objects, and these are the labels. So default is not selected if you won't write true. So means only empty checkboxes without ticks will appear on the applet window. After that I am adding all the checkboxes to the applet window. These are only creating the objects now. After creating the objects, it is our duty to add the checkboxes to the applet window. No? That's the add method. Only add means adding to the applet window. So the add method is adding all these checkboxes to the applet window. Next, For all the applet windows, whenever the state is changed for the checkbox. With respect to checkbox, state changed means previously it is tick mark. Suppose if you delete that one, tick mark means deselection, selection, deselection. So selection is, suppose if it is selected, if you deselect, then state changed. You remember like that. So in case of choice and list, items are selected now. That is state change. But in case of choice, whenever you change state, that is tick mark. Whenever you deselect, that is state change. Whenever whenever you state the change the state, some listener must be there. No, who will listen that event? That is item listener. So for our item listener must be added to for each and every checkbox. So whenever you change the state of the checkbox, this item listener will listen that change state, and after that it will invoke the method item state change. So that's why for each and every checkbox we have to add the listener. This is same for all the programs. Now after that, so in our class implements which listener? What is that one? Class checkbox. This one. Our class extends applet and implements item listener. No, that's why inside the item listener there is only one method. So our class must provide implementation to the, what is that method? Item state change. This is must. So inside item state change method I have written repaint. Repaint means already paint method is executed first time as part of life cycle. Again it is executed. That's why second time. Next, inside the paint method, what is my output? That code I am writing. It is same concept. So what is the output I want to print on the applet window is label first, label of each checkbox as well as the state of each checkbox. So here I have selected CSC and I have selected civil. Multiple selection is possible in case of checkboxes as already you know. So CSA and civil checkboxes are selected now. After selecting these checkboxes, see, whenever you select CSE, previously it is not selected now. Means deselection to selection. Means whenever you click here, immediately the listener will listen this and immediately it will invoke on the first checkbox this method. This method, item state change method, is invoked on the first checkbox. Like that, whenever you click another checkbox, on that checkbox again this method will be invoked. So on each checkbox, if you change the state, that is from one state to another state, then automatically the item listener will invoke this item state change method. After that, through repaint method, we can print the new state. Okay. So how do I get the label of the choice and label state of the choice is using get label and get state. That's it. Okay, see, get label is a string and get state also string. Concatenation of two strings is string. I am storing an str1 and using draw string method I am printing the all these. So what will be the output? So I am printing this status, that is CSC true selected, GC not selected false. So using get label and get state methods of the choice, I am printing all these. That's it. Next choice checkbox group also easy. So you know in radio button means checkbox, what is the drawback? Multiple selection is possible, you know, but sometimes only one answer is correct for the question. So in that case you have to go to radio button. So radio button is nothing but here checkbox group. So constructors method same, no. So checkbox group is the this is no or constructor for checkbox group to create object. After that, what are the two methods inside checkbox group? Is get selected checkbox and set selected checkbox. Okay. Next, already explained last two constructors in the checkbox or for checkbox group. No. Now I will use these two constructors to write the programs for checkbox group. See, these two constructors are important. So checkbox of string str label, next state, then checkbox group. See, for which checkbox group we are adding this checkbox. That is, next here there is no boolean, means there is no state. So these two constructors are, means this is important. For which checkbox group we are adding your checkbox. See, now this is the output of checkbox group. So I am grouping easy. Here I have taken 3 check boxes. I am adding all the 3 check boxes CSC, ECE and IT to check box group 1. That's why the symbol will become radio button. Next, I am taking one more checkbox group, and for that checkbox group, I am adding 2 checkboxes. They are BTech and MTech. So here I have taken 2 checkbox groups. For the first checkbox group, I am adding 3 checkboxes. For the second checkbox group, I am adding 2 checkboxes. That is my concept. After that, what I am printing on the output window, applet window is whatever checkbox or radio button you selected, that will be printed as output. Out of these 3, I can select only one. Why? Because all these 3 are added to the checkbox group. When you added multiple checkboxes to one checkbox group, out of those checkboxes, you can select only one. Means it is behaving like radio button. That's it. Here the second checkbox group, only one can be selected, that is BTech. So I am printing the this selected radio buttons as output. So 2 checkbox groups. So program is easy one. First understand the output. Same 3 import statements, everything is same. So for 2 checkboxes, 2 checkbox groups I have to take now. For one checkbox group, I am adding 3 checkboxes. They are CB1, CB2, CB3. For the second checkbox group, I am adding CB4 and CB5. That's it. Next, how do I create checkbox objects? Easy only, no? So first 2 checkbox groups, these are the 2. Next, for checkboxes, checkbox CB1 is equal to new checkbox of CSC, this checkbox is added to which checkbox group? First one, no? That's why CBJ1. CBJ1 is the object. CBJ1. So CSC, EC and IT are added to CBJ1, and BTech and MTech are added to CBG2. That's it. Next, same concept. See, adding the checkboxes to the applet window and adding the listeners to the checkboxes. Next, item state change is same. Next, also paint method is same. But what here I have written the code is whatever checkbox you have selected, that checkbox label will be the output. That is using get label and get selected checkbox. That's it. Next, scroll bars. Scroll bars are also easy. So already you know scroll bars, no? Vertical scroll bar and horizontal scroll bar. So if you want to create vertical scroll bars, how do we create it? Again, scroll bar is a predefined class. Scroll bar no arc and scroll bar into style. Here style. See, for scroll bar item event, these events are this. For event class is adjustment event, and event listener is adjustment listener. See, now you remember for button it is action event, action listener. For choice list, next what are the checkbox and checkbox group? For these 4, item event and item listener. But for scroll bar again, you have to remember adjustment event and adjustment listener. So in adjustment listener, there is only one method, that is adjustment value changed. That's it. Now scroll bar constructors and methods you can study on your own. So scroll bar, I will explain the concept, you study. Scroll bar no constructor style means you want to create horizontal scroll bar or vertical scroll bar. So you should write in place of the int style, write scroll bar dot vertical or scroll bar dot horizontal. After that, this third constructor is very, very important. This int style means any one of these 2 can be written here. Next, int initial value and int thumb size. Next, int min and max. Now I will explain the output first. After that, you see the input. This program. This program also easy. So I have created 3 scroll bars. These are the vertical scroll bars. Horizontal means like this. These are the vertical scroll bars. 3 vertical scroll bars I have created. This is under part is called thumb. Thumb is moved, no? Always we are moving the thumb. See. If I see here, your roll numbers are there, no? I am moving the thumb. That this center part is called thumb. Thumb is size. Next, see upward up arrow and down arrow. Next, up arrow is when you click the up arrow, the values are decreased. When you click the down arrow, the values are increased. Like up and down only, phase up and phase down. Next, you remember like this. So what is my concept is here in this program, what I have done is, see what I have done, you know this color image, no? Color image means it is a combination of red, green, and blue colors. No? So each color will take the pixel values 0 to 255. I think all of you know that one. So what I will do is I have created the first scroll bar with the values 0 to 255. This is red scroll bar. This scroll bar is created for green RGB. This scroll bar is for blue RGB. That's why I like that values are min value is 0, max value is 255. Next, what is my program is whenever I click this down, see initially I set the red, green, and blue pixel values as 0, 0, 0. In between 0 and 255 we can take. Next, here you can take 50, here you can take 100, here you can take 200. Based on the combination of these 3 pixel values, you will get a different color on different color which is set to the applet window. See here, this color is the combination of blue color 10, red, green 20 value, and this is 190. Like that, if you click the down arrows and up arrows, you can change these 3 values. Based on the 3 values, we can set the color for the background of the applet window. That is the program. Color image. Color image is based on the combination of these 3 RGB. So that's why the first scroll bar I have created for red color. Second scroll bar is green color. This is blue color, and each minimum value is 0, max is 250. So now you can see the program easy. See, third constructor is style means horizontal or vertical. Initial value we see later. Thumb size means that size we can give in some number. Int, min, and max we have used. Because I am creating for a red, green, and blue colors now for scroll bars. That's why here this is 0 I will take. This is 255 I will take. 0, 255. Initial value is in between 0 and 255 we can take. So like that we can write the program. So here one more method is important. Next, all these you can understand on your own. But these 2 methods concentrated. See, set unit increment and set block increment. Of int new increment. So if you take new increment value as 3, so what is the formula for this is next value. How do we get the next value is unit means to start is this 1, 1. After that formula is initial value plus unit into new increment. New increment I have taken inside this parameter 3. Unit means 1. And initial value is whatever initial value you have taken here in the constructor. This value, initial value. This must lie between min and max. So like that, here first initial value 1. After that 1 plus this one. Next, what is this one? Set block increment means in place here unit means 1, no, block means 10. Block means 10. That's why here I have written block means 10, unit means 1, initial value is 1. That's why here the values you will get 1, 4, 7, 10. Here 131, 61 like. So you understand these 2 methods. After that, how do I write the method? But using adjustment event and adjustment value change, you have to write the program. See, 3 scroll bars I have to create now. So 3 applet windows, 3 import statements same. Applet code is same. Applet tag is same. Next, class name, extends applet is same. But here, if you observe, implements. Previously for button we have written action listener. For choice list checkbox and checkbox group we have written what is that one, item listener. But for this is scroll bar now we have to write adjustment listener. Inside adjustment listener we have only one method, the adjustment value changed. Whenever our class implements this listener, this class must provide implementation to this method, that is adjustment value change. You need to remember. See, all the program same concept. Next, 3 scroll bars I have created object. I am taking the background color now. I am setting the combination of RGB color to background now. That's why I am taking the color class. See, next initial values of RGB are set as 0. The next init method is same. See. So inside C, for all the AWT control programs, you need to override the init method of the applet class. This is called overriding init method. Inside init method already explained only 3 concepts. No? First, creating objects for scroll bar. After that, adding the scroll bars to the applet window using add method. Then after that, you have to add listeners to each scroll bar. No, what is the listener corresponding to each scroll bar is adjustment listener. That's why S1 dot add adjustment listener of this. Next here I have used set unit increment because I have to change the values of 3 scroll bars from one number to one number. No, so how do we change it? Using this. First scroll bar I have set to 10. Whenever you click this downward arrow, it will go to 20. Like that, we execute the program, then only you can understand the importance of these two methods. In place of set unit increment, you can take set block increment. Block means 10, unit means 1. Already I have given the formulas, you can easily understand. Okay. Next, set add is only. There is only one method we have to implement now, adjustment value change. Next, get value. See S1 dot get value. She gives the position of the thumb, that is the initial value. Next, get value, get value. Next, repaint. Repaint means paint method is invoked. After that, I am setting the background color as T. So T is the new color of R, T, G. So whenever you change, whenever you click the up arrow or down arrow, the values get changed. So based on the new values of RGB, the background color is set as new with new color. Foreground also I have taken red. What is the foreground color? Foreground means this text color. I have taken this as zeros. By clicking this first, initially all the three are zeros and the color is set as red. No, whenever you click the first this for the first scroll bar down arrow, these values will be incremented. First, second, or third. First means first zero will be incremented. Second scroll bar means second zero. Third means third zero. Like that, first time don't this one. Don't click the up arrows because up arrows means decremented. Already starting value is zero, no, negative values you can't get. No, that's why first to do incrementation. Followed by afterwards you can use up arrows also for decrementation. Like that, we can set the background color with the combination of these three. For how do I increment or decrement is using the method set unit increment. This method is used. That's it. You try to understand that method. You can use block also in place of unit. Next, last one is text area. Text area 1 minute only. See, what is the drawback of text field is we can write only one line. But if you want to describe about yourself or if you want to write anything more than one line, then you should go for text area. Text area constructor is the constructors do. This number of lines and number of characters indicates the width and height of the number of lines means width. In text field means first line, second line, third line, fourth, that indicates width. Next, height means number of lines, number of characters. So width and height is like that. This constructors are there. I have written only small program. Scroll bars also we can add to the text area. See, I have written here. I have written only how do we create text area, but already first program is there. No, label, text field, and button. For that program also you can add the text area. So take one label, two labels and two text fields, and take here take one label for a text area also and create one text field. Text area. This is text area. Text area means multiple lines are possible. These scroll bars can also be added. Next, how to write the program? Easy. See, only a creation only, no. So the import statements. The next init method, I have created text. So this is the text on the text area and width and height 10 and 30. So after that, we are adding applet this text area to the applet window using add method. Okay, don't write like this, but here I am showing how do we create text area. But already first program is there, no? In that first program, inside the init method, you write this one. And you can, if you want to give label, you can give. Okay, this is the text area. Multiple lines is possible. Next class we will see. I have created one table. With this table, you can understand more clearly what we have studied till now. This is the digital. See, here this is the event source. Event set source can be applet window or AWT controls. Already explained in the first class. It can be applet window or it can be any one of the AWT controls. When it is applet window, for when the applet window is the source is for mouse events and key events. That's why in one class I explained mouse events and key events. No, for these two AWT controls, applet window is the source. Entire applet window is the source. And what are the listeners I have written, and what are the methods in the listeners also I have written. So this is source. Three words important I explained. No? Event source, event class. All these are classes. Next, event listeners. All these are interfaces. Inside the interfaces, predefined methods, the predefined abstract methods are there. No, I have written what are the methods which are there in the predefined. So first three columns are very important for event handling. What is event source? What is event class? And what is event listener? So for mouse event and key events, applet window is the source. Next, these are the already 9 I explained. No, same for button action event, action listener, action performed method. For choice list, checkbox group, item event, item listener, and item state change. For scroll bar adjustment event, adjustment listener, and adjustment value change. For text area, label, and text field, event handling is not required. So mouse event or key event, these two are also very important for exam point of view. Explain a applet program using mouse events or using keyboard events or these AWT controls. So with this AWT controls completed, next class we will see adapter classes and next layout managers. So there are 5 layout managers. So in one class we will discuss layout managers. Layout managers are also important.